fallout from Telstra's nationwide meltdown is continuing, with the telco still experiencing 000 outages for some customers across the nation. For more, we bring in our team on the ground. First to Anna McGraw in Brisbane. Anna, Telstra says they are working quickly to resolve this critical issue.
Yeah, good morning, Nat. Telstra says its team has worked tirelessly overnight to try and restore its services this morning, providing an update after a secondary software issue was detected overnight affecting 000 calls. Now, this morning it says it has solved 90% of the issue and is continuing to solve the remaining 10% of affected services. Now, essentially what it means is those that are affected, when they do try to make a phone call, on the other end there will be an error notice that is given to them. So Telstra is asking people that are affected to stay on the line for 90 seconds while their mobile phone reconnects to another network provider, or instead try and use another mobile phone if they are calling for help. Now, their welfare check service remains. Anyone that does call through or tries to call through to 000 and cannot be connected, Telstra is able to identify those calls and try to return the phone call and make sure that those people get the help that they need. But anyone that they haven't been able to reach, police across the country are being called to try and conduct those welfare checks in person instead. But of course, this nightmare 48 hours for the telco has raised some serious concerns and questions about how something like this could happen, leaving thousands of Australians in the lurch for such a long period of time. But Nat, following last year's Optus outage, Telstra could now face tens of millions of dollars worth of fines over this nightmare couple of days.
Next to Andrew McCormack in Melbourne. Andrew, many V-Line passengers have been left with no choice but to find accommodation for the night.
Yeah, that's right, out of pocket. Speaking of compensation, there'll be a lot of people, regional Victorians who came into Melbourne or elsewhere that were stranded overnight because they simply couldn't get home. Some people were told after waiting hours in line here for replacement buses, as V-Line services were cancelled right across the day and again this morning, to make their own way home to places like Bendigo, Ballarat, Echuca, Swan Hill. Simply impossible. A cab ride or an Uber ride would cost in the hundreds of dollars. Instead, they've had to fork out more money to get a hotel room, including young families. I spoke to a young mum and dad who had two toddlers, two boys, and even they couldn't get priority to get on a replacement bus.
We had the train at 1 o'clock yesterday. Obviously that was all disrupted. So we come down to the coach to get the coach, but unfortunately couldn't get a seat. I guess in the chaos of things, everyone just wants a seat, and obviously it's a bit harder to get on the bus in a rush with two young kids and a pram, so yeah, we just held back and decided to stay the night.
So today, again, no V-Line services. The CEO is set to give an update at press conference at 8:45, so hopefully we'll have an indication of the time frame on when this is all going to be fixed up. They are simply flying blind, they say, V-Line at the moment. The Transport Rail Authority says it's not safe to operate their trains because they don't know where they are around the network. So look, it's moving smoother today, certainly not the 100 metres of lines today in the replacement bus depot at Southern Cross, but still lots of delays. There's tens of thousands of Victorians right across the state without anywhere to go via the rail service.
Yeah.